My name is Donald Trump, and this is the story of my life. People know my name, they see my buildings, my shows, and my speeches. But not everyone knows how it all began. I was not born a president or a billionaire. I was born a kid in New York City with a big dream, a lot of energy, and a deep belief that I could do something great. I always wanted to be a winner, but the road to get there was not easy. I faced many challenges, made mistakes, and took big risks. But I never stopped believing in myself. That's what I want to share with you today. How I went from a young boy in Queens to one of the most talked about men in the world. And I want to ask you something. Do you think it's possible for anyone to reach the top if they work hard enough? Or is success only for a few lucky people? Think about that as you listen to my story. I was born in 1946 in Queens, New York. My father, Fred Trump, was a builder. He made his money by building homes for working families. My mother, Mary, came from Scotland. She was kind, strong, and always full of energy. My father was strict, but he taught me discipline. He showed me how important it was to work hard and never give up. When I was a boy, I liked to be the leader in everything I did. I wanted to win in school, in sports, in life. But sometimes my energy got me into trouble. I was strong-willed, loud, and sometimes too confident for my own good. My parents decided to send me to a military academy when I was 13. They thought I needed more discipline, and they were right. At the New York Military Academy, I learned how to be tough. The days were long, and the rules were strict. But I learned to be organized, focused, and confident. I began to enjoy competition. I played baseball and became one of the top athletes in school. I liked being a leader. Being in charge felt natural to me. That feeling never left me. After finishing school, I went to Fordham University, and later I transferred to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton was known for having one of the best business programs in the world. I studied economics, but what really interested me was real estate, buildings, land, and deals. My father's business had built homes in the outer parts of New York, but I wanted to go bigger. I wanted skyscrapers. I wanted Manhattan. When I graduated, I started working with my father. He was very practical. He taught me that every dollar counts. He said, "Don't spend money you don't have and always know your numbers." But I also had my own ideas. I wanted to take risks and make something that people would never forget. I saw New York City in the 1970s. It was struggling, dirty, and full of empty buildings. But I saw opportunity. I believed I could bring back the sparkle. One of my first big projects was the Commodore Hotel. It was an old building near Grand Central Station. Nobody wanted it. It was falling apart, and people thought I was crazy to even look at it. But I made a deal with the city, got a big hotel company involved, and rebuilt it into the Grand Hyatt Hotel. When it opened, it was a huge success. Reporters came. People talked. My name started to mean something. That was the moment I realized I could do something special in real estate. After that, I wanted something even bigger. I wanted to build a skyscraper that people would recognize all over the world. That's how Trump Tower began. It was my dream project. I wanted marble, glass, gold, everything had to be perfect. People told me I was too young, too ambitious, that I couldn't do it. But I didn't listen. I pushed forward. And when Trump Tower finally opened on Fifth Avenue, it was beautiful. It became a symbol of luxury and success. But success brings attention, and attention brings pressure. Everyone was watching me now. Some wanted me to fail. Some wanted me to go higher. I kept building office buildings, hotels, casinos, golf courses. I was working all the time. I loved it. But I also started to learn that when you grow fast, you also make mistakes fast. The late 1980s were exciting years. I was on magazine covers, on TV, and my life looked perfect from the outside. But inside, I was fighting battles. The early 1990s were hard. The economy went down, and I had borrowed a lot of money to build my projects. Banks were nervous. Some of my businesses were losing money. Reporters said I was finished. But I didn't give up. I negotiated. I worked harder than ever. I looked at every problem and found solutions one by one. It took years, but I made it through. I learned that when you fall, you can either stay down or get up stronger. I chose to get up. After that, I began to rebuild my brand, my name, and my life. I started appearing more on television, giving interviews and writing books. I wrote The Art of the Deal, and it became very popular. People liked my confidence and my direct way of speaking. They liked the idea of thinking big. I began to realize that I wasn't just a businessman anymore. I was becoming a public figure. Then came something that changed my life in a whole new way. Television. When NBC came to me with the idea for a show called The Apprentice, I knew it could be big. The idea was simple. A group of people competing in business challenges, and I would decide who stayed and who was fired. It was entertaining, but it also showed the world how business works. The show was a huge hit. People started repeating my line, "You're fired," all over the world. Suddenly, I wasn't just a businessman, I was a TV personality. That experience taught me a lot about communication and about people. I saw how much people loved confidence and strength. I realized that people were looking for leadership, someone who would speak their mind and not be afraid to take action. I didn't know it yet, but those lessons would later take me to a place I never imagined, the White House. But before that, I kept growing my business empire. I bought and built hotels around the world, created golf resorts, and licensed my name to many different companies. My children began to join the business too, Don Jr., Ivanka, and Eric. I was proud of them. I taught them the same lessons my father taught me. Work hard, think big, and never quit. Around this time, I started to pay more attention to politics. I had always had opinions about the country, about jobs, trade, and how America was changing. I saw factories closing, people losing jobs, and I felt that America could be strong again if someone ran it like a business. I began to talk more about it publicly, and to my surprise, many people agreed with me. They wanted change. In 2015, I made a decision that shocked many people. I announced that I was running for President of the United States. Some people laughed. They said it was a joke. They said I had no chance. But I believed in myself, and more importantly, I believed in the people who were supporting me. I knew that if I worked hard and stayed strong, I could do something no one expected. The campaign was like nothing I had ever experienced. Every day was a new challenge. The media followed every word I said. Some people loved me, others hated me, but no one ignored me. I spoke directly to the people about jobs, the economy, security, and pride in America. I didn't use fancy words. I spoke simply and clearly. And that message connected with millions of people. So that's where I was, standing in front of crowds of thousands, people chanting my name, and the media saying I couldn't win. It was one of the most intense times of my life. And before I tell you what happened next, I want to ask you something. If the whole world told you that you couldn't do something, but you believed in your heart that you could, would you still go for it? Would you risk everything to prove them wrong? Think about that, because that's exactly what I had to decide. I remember the night of the election in 2016 like it was yesterday. The results were coming in slowly, state by state. For months, people said I couldn't win. They said it was impossible, that I didn't have the experience or the background. But as the night went on, I saw the numbers changing. States that people said were impossible for me began turning in my favor. The excitement in the room was incredible. My family was with me, and we were watching history happen. When it finally became clear that I had won, that I would become the 45th President of the United States, I felt something I had never felt before, a mix of pride, responsibility, and humility. I thought about my parents, my family, my team, and all the people who believed in me when no one else did. Becoming president was not like anything I had ever done. Running a country is not the same as running a company. There were many people watching every decision I made, judging every word I said. But I didn't change who I was. I spoke directly, I acted fast, and I stayed true to what I believed. My goal was simple, to make America great again. I wanted people to feel proud of their country, to have jobs, safety, and opportunity. The first months were full of work. Every day there were meetings, decisions, and challenges. Some people supported me. Others tried to stop everything I did. Politics can be very tough. You can have a good idea, but not everyone will agree with you. Sometimes people fight not because of the idea, but because of who you are. I learned that leadership means standing strong even when people attack you. It means doing what you think is right, not what is easy. I made decisions that some people loved and others hated. I focused on jobs, trade, and business. I wanted companies to stay in America. I wanted to rebuild industries that had been forgotten. I believed in strength, a strong economy, strong borders, and strong families. I believed that when America is strong, the world becomes better. Of course, there were many critics. The media talked about me every single day. Some stories were fair, but many were not. At first, I was angry. I wanted to fight back all the time. But soon I realized that being president means accepting that not everyone will like you. You have to focus on results. You have to keep moving forward no matter what people say. One of the hardest things about being president was the constant pressure. Every word I said became news. Every decision was studied and debated. But I kept my focus. I traveled around the country, met with workers, families, and leaders. I saw how much people loved their country. That gave me energy. It reminded me why I was there, to serve the people who believed in me. During my time in office, I faced many challenges: natural disasters, international conflicts, and political battles. But I also saw great progress. The economy became stronger, unemployment went down, and businesses began to grow again. Many people felt hope. I was proud of that. But being president also means facing moments you cannot control. In 2020, the world changed with the COVID-19 pandemic. It was a difficult time for everyone. We had to make fast decisions to protect lives and keep the economy alive. It was not easy, and there were many different opinions. People were scared, angry, and uncertain. I had to stay strong and calm, even when everything felt chaotic. Leadership means making choices even when there are no perfect answers. That year was one of the most intense years of my life. It was not just about the virus, and it was also about politics, protests, and division. The country felt split in half. Some people loved me more than ever, and others hated me more than ever. That's not easy to live with. But I always believed that history would tell the full story one day. When the 2020 election came, it was another long and emotional battle. The results were close, and there was a lot of disagreement about how it was handled. Some people said I lost, others said it was unfair. I spoke out about what I believed, and I still do. But after all the fighting, I made a choice to step away from the White House and let the next chapter begin. Leaving the presidency was emotional. I had worked so hard, faced so many challenges, and now I had to walk away, at least for the moment. But I didn't feel defeated. I felt grateful. I thought about everything I had achieved, from my childhood in Queens to the highest office in the country. I thought about all the people who supported me and all the lessons I had learned. And I realized something important. Success is not only about winning. It's about never giving up. It's about getting back up every time life knocks you down. After leaving office, I returned to my business, my family, and my supporters. I spent more time reflecting. I looked back at my life and the buildings I built, the shows I made, the people I met, and the history I became part of. I understood that everything that happened, the good and the bad, was part of my story. You can't have success without failure. You can't have light without darkness. When I look back, I think about that young boy in Queens who wanted to be the best. He didn't know what life would bring. He just had a dream. That dream became buildings, then fame, then leadership. But the real secret was never the money or the power. It was the mindset, the belief that if you work hard and never quit, you can do anything. So what do I want people to learn from my story? That no dream is too big, that no failure is final, and that confidence can change your life. I've had moments when people laughed at me, attacked me, and tried to stop me. But every time I came back stronger. That's what being a winner means. Not that you never lose, but that you never stop trying. Sometimes people ask me, "Donald, what's the key to your success?" And I always say, think big. Don't let small minds tell you your dream is too big. Work hard. Believe in yourself even when no one else does. And take risks. You can't achieve greatness by playing it safe. I also believe in something else: gratitude. I'm thankful for my family, my friends, and even my critics, because every challenge made me stronger. Every negative headline made me fight harder. Every failure taught me something important. Life will test you, but those tests are what make you who you are. And I want to ask you again. If you had the chance to do something great, but everyone told you that you couldn't, would you still go for it? Would you fight for your dream even if you stood alone? That's the real question of life. That's the question that decides who wins and who gives up. I've learned that people often give up right before success comes. They get tired, they get scared, or they start listening to negative voices. But if you can push through that last hard part, you'll see the reward. That's true in business, in school, in relationships, and in everything. When I think about my journey, I know I made mistakes. I said things I shouldn't have said. I trusted people I shouldn't have trusted, and I took risks that didn't always work out. But I have no regrets. because every experience, good or bad, helped me grow. I always believed that you should live life boldly. If you're going to dream, dream big. If you're going to work, work hard. If you're going to play, play to win. Now, as I continue my journey, I still believe in America, in success, and in the power of never giving up. My life has shown me that anything is possible. I came from a middle-class family in Queens, and I ended up building skyscrapers, writing books, starring on TV, and becoming President of the United States. That's not luck. That's belief and persistence. I tell young people all the time, you don't have to be born rich to do great things. You just need the right mindset. You need discipline, focus, and confidence. You must be willing to take risks when others are afraid. You must see opportunities where others see problems. And you must keep going even when people say you can't. So if there's one message I want to leave you with, it's this. Never stop believing in yourself. The world will always have critics. People will doubt you, laugh at you, or tell you to quit. But if you have a dream, hold on to it tightly. Protect it. Work for it. Fight for it. Because one day, if you don't give up, you'll reach it. And when you do, you'll realize that all the struggles were worth it. My story is not over. Life is full of new chapters. I still have plans, dreams, and goals. I still wake up every morning ready to work, ready to build, ready to win. That's who I am, and that's who I'll always be. So if you're listening to this story, I want to leave you with a challenge. Think about your own dream. What is it that you really want? What's that big goal that scares you a little but excites you a lot? Take one step toward it today. Don't wait for the perfect moment, and there's no such thing. The best time to start is now. And when people tell you that you can't, remember my story. Remember that a boy from Queens full of energy and dreams made it all the way to the top. If I can do it, so can you. You just have to believe it. So do you believe in yourself? Do you believe that you can change your life? If you do, then start today. Don't stop. Don't give up. Keep pushing forward, because one day you'll look back and realize you did something great. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it inspires you to dream bigger, to work harder, and to never give up, no matter what challenges you face. Like this video if you believe that success comes from hard work and confidence. Subscribe for more stories like this and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to know what dream you're working toward. Remember, your life is your story. Make it a great one. I'll see you in the next story.